Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm sitting on my back porch today and it is absolutely gorgeous. Just like, look at that sky. Ugh, it's so pretty. Today I am going to talk about platonic consent because, so many people focus on I guess you could call it adult aspects of consent, and consent is really something that we need to be practicing every day, and sometimes I think we forget about it in our friendships. So yeah, let's talk about it. Alright, so consent. Consent is literally just basically letting people know about something and asking for their permission before going through with it. For platonic consent, we look at all of the same aspects that we would in regular consent, and I'm going to use what I learned from Intimacy Direction. For those of you who don't know, IDI is Intimacy Directors International, and IDC is Intimacy Directors and Coordinators. Intimacy Directors and Coordinators is a group of individuals that are helping to shape consent in theater and working towards making theater as an occupation safer and more enjoyable for the people who are working in it. And so I've been to 3 workshops. Eventually I hope to be Intimacy Director certified because it's the coolest thing ever. I think that an organization that focuses on trying to make other people's mental health better in any occupation is worth, paying attention to and listening to. And also you can find their links in the little description down below. Yeah, so go ahead and check them out if you have the time. They're really neat. And it's not just about like sex scenes or anything. It's about any moment of like heightened emotion, any strong visceral emotions. When you're choreographing a fight, you get a fight choreographer. And when you are choreographing things that are high emotional moments, you want an intimacy director to make sure that everyone's being safe. So yeah, go ahead and check it out and just educate yourself because it's fun. They got this particular little acronym from, I think, Planned Parenthood, but it's FRIES. FRIES, F-R-I-E-S. My cat is meowing. Okay. FRIES. Freely given, reversible, informed, enthusiastic, and specific. So what does that mean exactly? Well, freely given means that there's no coercion and there is a minimized power struggle. There's a minimized hierarchy within the relationship, or within the relationship in regards to that specific question. Obviously, a boss asking an employee to do something, there is a power difference there that makes it a little bit more coerced than it would be. An employer assuring an employee that if they say no, nothing bad is going to happen, and actually following through with that, building rapport and building that level of trust among employees can minimize that power dynamic. That's the word I was thinking of this entire time. So we want it to be freely given. We want it to be not coerced. We don't want things involved that hinder your ability to make the decision, right? It needs to be given freely of one's own volition. Reversible. This is really important. Somebody can say yes and then later say no. Now, reversible does not mean that you don't have consequences. Reversible just means that you have the ability to say no later. There is no consent without that. If you want to go to a water park and you agree with a friend to go to a water park, and then the day rolls around, you guys have been planning this for a month, and you are sick to your stomach. Some bug, stomach bug or something. You have the ability to say, hey, I'm sick, I can't go. And it's reversible. Now, you don't get to go to the water park. They might find somebody to replace you, and they might not be able to get a refund for your ticket. But you have the ability to say no, and you have the ability to reverse your consent or take it back in this situation, which is really important, especially for friendships too. Because if you have a friend, you want them to be able to feel comfortable telling you stuff that's going on, and you want them to be able to feel comfortable saying yes or no to stuff. It's just good friendship rules, right? So then we look at informed, right? So now we're looking at informed. Informed means that you have as much a background as you need in order to make that decision logically. Saying, hey, do you want to hang out next Tuesday? Is different than saying, hey, do you want to go bungee jumping with me next Tuesday? Right? There's a level of information that we need in order to judge whether or not it's something that we are able to do. Some people may be afraid of heights and may not want to go bungee jumping. Some people are afraid of being in closed spaces and may not want to hang out inside. So knowing what you're agreeing to and knowing the specifics of it, if you're bungee jumping, are you bungee jumping from something stable, or are you actually not bungee jumping and you're jumping out of an airplane? Or, you just need specifics. What are you bungee jumping over? How controlled is the environment? What's the time frame for it? All of that is in information, and all of that is really important when we're talking about consent, platonically and otherwise. Enthusiastically. Enthusiasm is really, really important when it comes to consent. Saying yeah to something is different than saying, oh yeah, totally, yes, confirmed, oh my gosh, why didn't you say it yesterday? Those are all enthusiastic. Yeah, fine, okay. Those are less enthusiastic. You're not going to have fun with a friend who's not having fun. You want an enthusiastic yes, and if they're not giving an enthusiastic yes, you got to find out why, because maybe it's a small adjustment. Maybe it's like, well, I'm in a tight squeeze time frame wise, so I'd love to go bungee jumping with you, but I would really need to I'd need to push dinner with my parents, and I can't do that because they live out of state. Then maybe an enthusiastic yes can come from, okay, well, I know you want to bungee jump. Why don't we try and change the date? That's fine. We can change some of the information around. We can change some of our plans around, or the type of things that we're doing, the type of activities we're doing to get that enthusiastic yes. And as long as you follow through with that specific information that you're giving them, and the freely given aspect, and letting them know it's still retractable, then you're good to go. It's really all about communication and agreement, which is so important in friendships, man. So important. So now we have gotten to S, and that would be specific. So specifics kind of go hand in hand with information. If you say, do you want to go bungee jumping sometime? Yeah, I'd like to go bungee jumping, but they might not want to go bungee jumping when their parents are there. They might not want to go bungee jumping if they have a work meeting right after. You have to know the very specifics of it. They might not want to go bungee jumping if it's over 600 feet. I don't know anything about bungee jumping, so I shouldn't have used that as an example. But the specifics around the activity, as well as the information on what exactly you're doing, are very important. The time frame, how you're doing it, when you're doing it, whatever. All friendships revolve around us sharing information with other people, receiving that information, and using it to create a better relationship with that person. And using an acronym like FRIES can be really helpful for that. I mean, we can apply all of that stuff to our romantic relationships as well, but I think when it comes to consent, if we don't start with our friendships and our family, then how do we expect people to do that in romantic relationships? Families, it's really hard because there is such a huge power dynamic between parents and children, or aunts and uncles and other parents, grandparents and parents. There are so many dynamics at play, but if we keep that open pathway of communication while we're working to create better relationships with each other, and we keep consent in mind when we're asking people to do things, then we'll have better relationships in general. In every situation, not everyone's going to be completely happy, especially when it comes to family. If you guys all have to go to dinner and you have specific people in your family, and this is something that happens in my family all the time, you have specific people who have dietary restrictions. I'm a vegetarian, and my mom typically doesn't eat a lot of carbs, and my dad says he'll eat anything, and then my brother will eat anything except for if it's in front of my parents, because then they pick on him, because when he was 5, he didn't eat anything except for chicken nuggets. So anytime he eats a salad now in front of my parents, they're like, oh my God, you ate a salad. Look at you, good boy. He's obviously not the same as he was when he was 5 years old. So we have all those dynamics to think about when we go and eat food. Now, just because my ideal food might be eating I don't know, like Indian food. Doesn't mean that that's gonna work for my brother, because he knows that my parents are gonna like kind of pick on him a little bit for eating Indian food. Because not everyone is happy in the situation doesn't mean that you can't come to an agreement and find consent in there. Just because I would really enjoy Indian food doesn't mean that I'm going to get to eat Indian food. It might be like we go to a Mexican restaurant instead, which is what we've frequently done because my whole family loves Mexican food. So it's finding those compromises and those different pathways to get permission and help from everyone. And this is obviously a little bit more geared towards adult children relationships and families, just because you have to sometimes get small children to try things that they haven't tried before in order to expand their horizons. And that does not always make them happy. So, you know, it's just a level of understanding and a level of communication that you have with your team and with your family, and a level of trust that you build. Hey y'all, I forgot to talk about this when I was outside. If you decide to not ask for somebody's consent before doing something, or if you don't follow the steps of fries in order to gain consent correctly, you are responsible for the potential outcome pitfalls that might bring upon you. Consent is really important for relationship building. It also tears things apart if it's not done properly. Be safe, be respectful, be kind. I hope this helped you out. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know if there is anything else that you would like me to talk about. And let me know how you are practicing consent in your daily life, how you are incorporating that into building your relationships, the relationships around you, whether it be platonic or romantic or familial. I hope you have a good day. I'll see you here next Thursday. I post videos every Thursday. Like this video if you like it, comment on it, whatever you want to comment on it, just keep it clean. Subscribe if you have the time, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I will be posting next. As always, I am not a professional, and I hope that you, not a professionals, or naps, I'm gonna try it out. I hope that you naps are having a good day and you know, learning a little something new. All right, stay safe in quarantine or stay-at-home orders, whatever you're facing right now. Have fun. Bye, guys.